Hey guys, it's Jamie. Today is a really big day for me. I wanted to talk about this for so many years and I finally can't believe I'm doing this. I'm sorry. This is probably gonna be the hardest thing I'll ever film or the scariest thing I'll ever do, but I know I have to do this to feel free. I've been holding this tightness, this anxiety, this chest pain for so many years and I just want to be free. I'm really scared and I'm really nervous. And I'm sorry if what I'm saying doesn't make sense or I get emotional. Just be patient with me. In today's video, I want to share a part of me that I've been keeping a secret for a long time that makes me me. I don't know if I'm ever going to be ready to share this information, but I know I just have to do it. I don't want to feel like I'm invisible. I want to feel like I matter. So here it goes. When I was younger, I was born different. I was born in the wrong body. So yes, that means I'm transgender. I don't think you guys understand how crazy it feels right now to share this information, and I don't know, it's just, I feel crazy right now. I don't know why I'm laughing. I've been holding this shame and this guilt for so long. I just can't believe I finally said it. I don't know how this video is gonna go. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna start somewhere. Ever since I was born in Bangladesh, I thought I was just a girl, but it didn't make sense to me why I had to have short hair, I had to wear boy clothes, do certain things that boys do. All of me was girly and feminine. If you ask my family, everybody would say that I was super feminine. I used to love Barbies, the color pink. I know these are all like stereotypes that are feminine, but for me, it was true. I liked girly things. And understand these things are all stereotypes, but this is part of my trans identity. One of the things that makes somebody transgendered is gender dysphoria, which goes beyond hobbies, what you like, how you dress. For example, me being feminine, it's having a disassociation with your body. As I got older, I realized that boys have penises and girls have vaginas. And even though I didn't understand the greater good of the parts, I came to realize that I didn't have a vagina and something didn't feel right, something wasn't normal, but I still considered myself as a girl. So because I kind of dressed like a boy, but then I was super feminine, kids would make fun of me, beat me up, just say really mean things like, are you a boy, are you a girl? So I've lived with that narrative most of my childhood. And then coming to Canada, where I feel like there's a very strong binary between men and women, and going through puberty, the disassociation with my body really became apparent. And I started to realize that how I feel on the inside, how my brain functions, is not how my body is appearing, like especially, you know, when I was gaining muscle, getting like armpit hair on my face, just things like that. I started to feel like I'm not a normal girl, I'm not a boy, like what the hell am I? Moving to Canada at 11 was really hard for me because I had a thick accent. I just didn't fit in. My sister had an easier time adjusting to Canadian culture. For me, I felt like people would just make fun of me, whether it be on the street, on the bus, and I just felt really trapped all the time. I don't know, like I just didn't know what to do. High school, again, was really hard because even though I tried to act like a boy, dress like a boy, kids would make fun of me, call me all kinds of names, calling me gay, fag. I would get beat up. I would be scared to go to school. I would pretend to want to stay home because I'm sick and I'm not. And the hardest part about being a teenager is that you never feel complete. And you know, you're already struggling with your identity, but for me, it was on a whole another level. And I feel like I missed out on so many opportunities and so many fun things. Going to prom, having a date, going to a school dance. Just like so many things people take for granted, like using the washroom. I wouldn't feel comfortable using the washroom at school. So I'd hold my pee all day and then I would run home. I think I was like 14, 15 when I finally decided that I'm done playing this game. I don't want to pretend like something I'm not. I want to be me. I want to be Jamie. Obviously, 15 years ago, there wasn't a lot of information on what being transgender meant. When I finally did come out to my friends who were girls one by one, I lost everybody. Like, no one wanted to talk to me, no one wanted to sit with me, and word just kind of got around, and it was really hard. And it all kind of happened really quick, and within a few days, I started to tell a couple of our family friends that I was really close to, Teresa and Anne. If you guys are watching, it's crazy how far I've come. Sorry. So then I finally told my parents and my sister. I was a mama's girl. Like, I love my mom. We were so close, and she would lock herself in the bedroom and not talk to me. So, I would go to school, I would come home and have my mom hiding behind closed doors all day. She wouldn't talk to me. My dad was actually really helpful. He was doing research, typical, on the internet to try to understand how to help. My sister was living her own life. She had her own things going on, so I feel like she didn't really understand. I had to stand up for myself. So they ended up taking me to the doctor, CAMH, which again, I'm not gonna talk to. If you guys know CAMH in Toronto, it's the Center for Addiction and Mental Health, and the way they dealt with transgender people back in the day, it's disgusting. That is another video, but during this time, my family wasn't supportive at all. I felt like I had no one to talk to. Everybody would give me the religious talk or that you're not normal, this is a phase. I would go to sleep screaming into the pillow because as I was going to CAMH and counseling, things at home just weren't better. I felt like I had to live part-time as a boy at home, but then part-time outside in the world. For example, I would take a change of clothes and I would change in a public washroom, go downtown, walk around, live as Jamie, but then I would live as a boy at home. My mom still wasn't talking to me. School was really hard because word was getting around that people wanted to hurt me, and it just felt really unsafe. I just need to get out or else I was gonna hurt myself. So for like 6 months or so, I was living in a shelter. I was homeless. I lived as Jamie at this shelter. It was definitely one of the most hardest things I've done, seeing things that no child should ever see or experience. I eventually had to leave the shelter as well when people found out that I was transgender. People wanted to hurt me to the point where I literally had to be escorted by police anytime I left the shelter. But then it got so bad inside the shelter that I had no choice but to go back home. I got my first job in retail when I was 16 at a very popular shoe store that you guys all shop at. I got kicked out of that job when they found out that I was different, but that job helped me pay for my hormones, electrolysis. I had to do a lot at 16 to kind of survive and figure out what the next steps are alone. When I was 17, it was really hard for me to say bye and move to London because I never thought I would leave home. I thought I was gonna stay with my mom and dad forever, but I had to, for my own sanity, feel free. And I did fall in love. I fell in love with somebody that fell in love with me. We were together for 7 years, and I really do feel like he saved my life. Because if I didn't meet him at that time, I honestly don't know what would have happened. I think part of me will always be grateful and have this love for him that will never go away. So moving to London was really good for me because nobody knew me. It was a clean slate. I could just fit in and be like another regular girl, and that's what I did. But then being a normal girl and fitting in came with its own price as well. I felt like I couldn't share this part of me with the people around me. I avoided making friendships. I didn't want people to get to know me. Things that people take for granted, I didn't feel comfortable doing. I lived constantly with this anxiety that I'm gonna get clocked. If you know what clocked means, it means somebody's gonna spill the beans, find out about my secret. It made me feel like I went from one cage to another cage. I didn't have the right body part still. It was hard for me to explain to people why I can't wear a bikini, why I felt uncomfortable going to the doctor. It brought a lot of strain in our relationship. A straight guy loving someone like me with a different body part. Like, that's a lot to deal with. You guys are probably wondering if I had my surgery. Yes, I did. I had my surgery on July 3rd, 2012, which I guess wasn't a long time ago. Just leading up to that, the process is really traumatizing. You would think that after surgery, I would just want to be a normal girl and fit in. But after surgery, I realized that I wanted to feel like I was part of something. I wanted to feel like I had a community. I wanted to feel like I belong. You know, in that relationship, I felt like I couldn't be me. I would never be able to have the opportunities or the life that I wanted. So eventually we did end up breaking up. He wasn't confident enough in our relationship to tell the world that he was dating a transgendered person. Honestly, I'm so lucky for my parents and how they treat me. I don't think any parent prepares for something like this with their child. They have their own hopes and dreams for their child. And looking back now, I know it was really hard for my parents to deal with this situation. I'm sure they didn't imagine a life like this for me. But over the years, my parents were definitely my biggest supporters. I don't think they ever really understood what it feels like to be transgender, to feel different, to live with this anxiety, shame, guilt every single day. But they still stuck by me. They were supported me. They called me their daughter. I'm so thankful for that. Okay, I feel like you guys are probably wondering about Phil, if he knew. So we met 4 years ago, and I feel like things moved pretty fast. I was scared that he was going to reject me or he was going to break up with me. I remember, we're in bed one day, and I don't recommend you guys doing this unless you feel safe. So we're in bed, and I start talking. I tell him that I was born different, that I was transgendered. And obviously he was surprised, he was shocked, but I remember him saying that I see you, and that's all that matters. I don't think you guys understand what that feeling felt like when somebody sees you as you. Things moved pretty quickly from then on. We moved in together, I think in like 5 or 6 months. Phil is a straight guy who's never dealt with a situation like this. Dating someone like me is a unique experience. It does have its own challenges and issues that both of us weren't prepared for. Phil has always accepted me, loved me, celebrated me, but it takes a lot for someone to understand me and my situation, my quirks. That's something we're really working on right now. We had many ups and downs, and I definitely went through a phase where I felt like this was too good to be true. And why does he want to be with me? That, he was going to find somebody normal. Maybe he wants to have kids one day, so it's not going to be with me. So I was doing everything to push him away or sabotage the relationship, but he stuck around. We stuck around for each other. So in the last year, I feel like we really grew as a couple because Phil started to understand that keeping this secret inside has been really detrimental to my mental health and my physical health, and that for me to heal, for me to make a difference, and not just my life, but the people around me, like it was important for me to come out and be myself. So we've been working on coming out together for the last year and a half, I would say. There's been moments where we want to tell people, we want to tell his family, but I don't think both of us were ready. Phil went through a phase where he wasn't sure if he wanted to be with me because people might judge him, people might think he's gay. Phil's a pretty private person and he didn't want that kind of attention on him. So if you're a friend or family of Phil, I just ask that you are kind towards him and you don't see him differently or our relationship differently. I just have to say I'm so lucky to have such a strong man be by my side, because obviously this whole experience has been intense and crazy and weird for me, but it's also for him. To be with someone like me is not easy. To hold my hand and face the world. You know, this might hurt his business, this might hurt his relationships with his family, his friends. It's a huge risk to take. So you guys might be wondering, why am I coming out with this now at 31 years of age? And you know, I passed as a regular girl for the most part. Why now? I can't explain what it feels like to go to work, to go to the doctors, to do anything without being afraid of getting beat up, afraid of experiencing prejudice, discrimination. I feel like I wake up afraid. I go to sleep afraid. I've been struggling every single day to keep this information in, especially when I see so many trans people getting beat up and even murdered, especially Black trans women in the States getting murdered. Like, who knows how many transgendered people are getting killed in other countries. I realize that this is not affecting me directly because this type of violence tends to be more prevalent in the States, but it also happens in Canada. And I'm just realizing that it's more than just me. It's a we problem that we experience as trans people. You know, it took me this long to come out because I've never liked labels. There's just so much negative stigma attached to this word transgender. You know, I don't want to be called a tranny, a man. There's more to me than just being transgender. I'm Bangladeshi. I'm a daughter. I love beauty. I don't know, like there's just so much more to me than just a label. I realized that I kept this identity a secret for so long because I wanted to fit in like a normal girl. I was ashamed, but now I realize that this is a part of me that I can't change. It makes me who I am. It's a part of my history. You know, it is hard to stay silent when people talk about trans people so negatively in front of me. I mean, they don't know that I'm transgender, but it's just hard to like sit there and not say anything. For example, when I was in Jamaica earlier in this year, you know, we're all sitting by a fire and a family member with their friend was talking about trans people in a very derogative way. And I just remember thinking like, is this what people think of me? And I couldn't say anything because if I said anything, they would connect the dots and find out that I'm trans. And at that point, I was still not ready to come out. And this year, when a group of girls created a group chat, I don't know how, but they somehow found out about my situation and they were talking about it, saying really disgusting things. One of the girls did come to me and that she felt bad that people were doing this. At the time, didn't really open up to anybody at work about me being different. I would come home and cry after work because I felt like people were talking behind my back, but I couldn't address it. Talk to upper management about it because that would mean I would have to reveal this information about me, and I just wasn't ready. If you're watching this, you felt like you could blackmail me, make me feel like I'm lesser than by holding this information. This is me coming out. I'm stronger than you think I am. And what you guys did is vile and disgusting, and it never should have happened. I want to talk about something positive. One of the other reasons why we decided to come out now is because some of y'all might know that I'm getting married next year. It was really important for Phil and I to have people at the wedding that love us, accepts us, and want to celebrate our unique love. And I don't want people to come to the wedding to tolerate us or feel like they have to just to come or celebrate another John and Jane. It was really important for me to come out and really feel free and really enjoy this special moment and realize how lucky I am before we get married. This is my life. Like, I just never would have imagined this 15 years ago, that after everything I've been through, I would get here, that I would sit here, be filming this video, having this support from my fiance, his family, my parents, and my friends. Anyways, I realize that not everybody who's transgender has the privilege of having their family or friends as support. If you're trans and you're struggling, just know that it does get better, that your family will come around. It might take them several years through education and you being yourself and living your authentic life. They will come around. You just have to stay hopeful, positive, that things will get better. And if you're a parent of a transgender child, I ask that you treat the situation with kindness, because your support can mean the world and can make a huge difference, can literally change their life, what they accomplish, what they do, how they view themselves, how they are treated by other people. Hearing my story, the last thing I want from you guys is to see me differently or treat me differently. I'm still me, I'm still Jamie, and from now on, you get me, all of me. I know my life will be really different from now onwards. There's gonna be good things and bad things coming my way. I'm gonna hear a lot of negative comments, I'm sure, but honestly, I'm ready to embrace it all. My family, Phil's family, and Phil is nervous about, what's to come, but I know their support will outweigh all the bad stuff that's gonna come. It's just crazy for me to think that I've transitioned and gone through all these experiences in front of all of you, and most people in my life had no idea. I hope that if you're watching this video and if you're ready to write that negative comment, that you do take the time to educate yourself, read the research that being transgender is not a choice. Transgender lives, especially Black transgender lives, do matter and we deserve to be uplifted. We all have opinions, and trust me, I have my own opinions about different things, but if your opinion is going to come after my human rights, I don't want to hear it. I'm going to finish this video by saying that if you are transgender, I hope this year of 2020, with everything going on, that you do find the strength and courage to be yourself, to come out and to feel free. Remember, you are you. There's no one else like you, and that is your power. I hope this video brings a positive light that yes, the world can be a scary place, but there are a lot of good people out there, and especially by coming out as transgendered and sharing our stories, we can make the world a better place for everybody around us. Being open about my journey and sharing my story has helped me find my voice, and I hope I can help other people find their voice. I just hope to inspire little Jamies out there that feel too different. Look at me and think that, if she can do it, I can do it too. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me, listening to my story. It means more than you guys will ever know. I'm just so excited for what's to come. Bye guys.